What's up, guys, and welcome to CM Radio. I haven't done this in ages because of life, but we're back with the podcast, and they are going to be up again on a weekly basis. For those of you who don't know, if you're listening to this on SoundCloud, first of all, I appreciate it. Thank you. Second of all, if you are like me and you don't like listening to podcasts and you do like watching them, you can also go on my YouTube channel, Mooney, and watch these on there. They're uploaded every Monday at 6 p.m. on YouTube and every Saturday at 5 p.m. on SoundCloud. So, without further ado, let's get back into it. I'm joined with one of my old colleagues, Carl.
Fucking asshole. Awkward as fuck, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'm joined with Carl. The way that these podcasts are going to be structured now is when I used to do them on my own, have guests in. Now, the problem with that is I'm not very good at talking to myself. So I think Carl's just going to be a regular person that we get on every sort of week and then have guests on in between, just so we have ideas to bounce off of, because he's alright at that. You're alright at that.
I'm right at that. It's probably anything I'm alright at. But...
So, do you want to introduce yourself, tell them how you got into the gym?
Yeah, cool. I'm Carl, as he's already said. I got into the gym because I was fed up with being absolutely overweight and fat. Started off just kind of doing my own thing in there. Had no real training structure, no real idea of what I was doing. It physically was just anything was better than nothing. It was just a mishmash of legs mixed with arms, kind of whatever machines were free at the time.
The sort of bro training we all do at the start.
Literally,
my fucking first workouts were...
Literally, just a case of going in there, bag in the locker, and just whatever machine was free. If it looked simple enough to use, then it was just a case of jump on and use it. There was no real rep ranges. It was just, I think, as I said to you before, everything was just pyramid training at the time. It would start low weight, go up till I couldn't lift it anymore or move it anymore.
And the issue with that is you can't progressively overload. But anyway, so the topic that we're covering in today's podcast is something that I think we're relatively good at, and that's mindset and mentality. Because for the last, I think it was before November, we started training early.
Yeah, it was when the students came back in September and absolutely ruined it.
So we used to train at this gym called Fit for Less at like in the evenings. So it was start work 9 to 5, finish, and then train from, if you didn't have taekwondo, it would be train from like either 6 till like 9 or till the gym closed.
Typically it was like 7 till 10 on a usual one.
Yep.
No life whatsoever.
So then when the students started joined the gym, it got massively busy, so we switched to doing mornings. So now we typically train like 4 a.m. So waking up at 4 a.m, going to the gym for about 5, training, and then working. I know for you sometimes it's working like 7 till 6, so an 11-hour shift. And then for me it sometimes can be working 8 till 10, so like a 14-hour shift. But we still managed to train beforehand. So I think our mentality in terms of training and adapting around those sort of situations is relatively good. So I think we have some good credibility that we can actually talk about this.
Definitely.
So the first thing, we got a few notes. I think the first thing that I want to talk about is just how waking up at 4 a.m, how we do it. Because
how you do it, I ring you.
He rings me. Get yourself a Carl. Because at the moment it's summer. So waking up, it gets sunny here. Our sunrise at the moment is about 3 a.m. So it's not bad waking up at 4 or 5 and it being sunny and warm. And then you go about your day, have a shower, brush your teeth, do whatever, and go to the gym. The real struggle and the real test is when it comes to winter and it's fucking pitch black at even till 9 a.m. it's pitch black.
It's crazy.
And it's 0 degrees outside at 4 in the morning when we wake up. We're going to the gym and it's completely fucking dead.
Literally,
and I think
it's dead.
Yeah, I think especially because it's coming towards the end of summer now, well, soon to be. And one thing I'm looking forward to is getting back into winter training and having the gym quieter than what it is now.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it's easy. It's easy to wake up because it's warm and it's comfortable. And it is easy. So that's why we've seen an influx of a lot of people training in the mornings during summer. As soon as it hits winter, it's a different story. It's a change in mentality.
We think last winter we were typically get in there for 5. You'd be lucky to see 2 or 3 people, and it would start getting busy in the sense of only about 10 or 12 people would be by about 7, 7:15 when we leave. Whereas now at the moment, by about 5:30, 6, you've got just as many people in the morning there as what you'd see in the afternoon, but they'll soon die off.
Yeah, soon to be, which is good. Like, more people training, the better. But this something I've been thinking of for a while, was just seeing that change in people, or seeing the change in numbers. Definitely, it comes down to mentality, because your work life isn't going to change, because you're not going to fucking randomly start work at 2 a.m. or whatnot.
Exactly.
Unless you work nights. So how, for me, it's easy waking up at 4 a.m. It's not hard. I set an alarm, wake up, and I know I have to get shit done. But for you, specifically, wife, kids...
Yeah, I think I've got 4 kids and a wife, so...
job. I work full-time. I'm not a bum, but...
Obviously, I have to come over here. So obviously, I live about half an hour away. So for me, it's wake up at 3:30 every day. Typically, leave the house about 4:30. So get myself ready for work, get myself ready for the gym, prep my food for the day. Then it's either obviously come meet you at the gym, finish at the gym, start work at 7:15-ish, give or take. And that's me on till usually anytime between 4:30 and 6, depending on who's in with me.
So how'd you do it?
If you don't do it, it's not going to get done. Simple. So it's drag, whether you want to or not, just drag your ass out of bed. I mean, like for me, as I said to you before, my biggest one is if I stop doing it, is whether my mentality would set me back to how I was. And from that respect, I'd rather drag my ass out of bed at 3:30 in the morning on a cold ass day than go anywhere how I was 3 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. But
almost that sense that you don't do it, no one else is going to do it for you.
No, damn
like,
right.
You don't get up if you don't get up for the gym. Like, this is something that I found a bit weird as well. This is when we first started training mornings, and whenever we'd miss a morning session or whatnot, I'd have to train. If I started work at 3, and I wouldn't be able to train with you, so I'd have to train on my own. Like, most of the time, I would almost just not go to the gym and take it as a rest day. I think now, over the last 2 months, I've only just started getting used to training at 9 a.m. or at 10. In training sort of on my own.
But that's, again, that touched on a different subject. That's obviously going on to training with someone versus training on your own. From my respect, obviously, where I've lost my headphones at the moment, waiting for a new pair to arrive, the thought of going to do back session today on my Todd, I'm like, shit, I really don't want to, purely because I don't want to have to sit there with wired earphones. I can't just not have music. And the thought of actually trying to do an hour and a half session on my own with no music is just killing my motivation. Simple, to the point where I've got a pair on order and I'm sat in Tesco's this morning looking at them thinking, right, should I just honk out 15-20 quid for a cheap pair just for today, and they're never going to get used again?
Do you think a lot of people, and this comes down to exercises as well, do you think a lot of people, well, I say do you think, it fucking happens, it happened to me, a lot of people do that, they rely on equipment. So with squats the other day, when I didn't have my belt,
yeah,
my squat suffered from it. Now, could I have lifted the same weight? No, but I went into the workout thinking, right, it's not going to be as heavy, or it's not going to be as good today because I haven't got my belt. It's external equipment, or your headphones, or you haven't got your knee sleeves, you haven't got your pre-workout,
or I found out with squats, it's as soon as I realised I forgot to put the safety rail on, my mentality changed just like that.
Yeah, that was crazy. So for context, we were doing squats, and I think you had moved up from 80 kilos to 90 for 3 working sets of 8, and you got a set of 6. Was doing his second set.
And got 4 into
it, and you realised the safety rails weren't there, and rather than go for it, you racked it.
Yeah.
Because what was going through your mind?
No, just literally, the first mentality on that was, because obviously, again, relying on external equipment rather than relying on myself, that I could have actually, because I got the first set easy enough anyway, I could have got the second set. But as soon as I saw them, it just reminded me of when I first ever squatted and nobody bothered spotting me.
Every person that I've went to the gym with, we've done a leg day, has fallen over. Because for me, I've been doing this for years and now. Squat, I keep forgetting. This is when I get back into PT. This is gonna be fucking something I have to work on.
Yeah, so
I can't go back to Connie. Let me fall over.
Yeah, for context, I was told basically a quick how to put it on my shoulder. I managed to then rocked backwards and land on my fucking ass in front of a lot of people in the gym. That was daunting. That was enough to make me not want to go back.
Mindset.
Mindset of don't go back, move forward.
I've actually lost. Yeah. So he hit these four reps, racked it. The fourth one didn't look hard at all. Then his third set, we put the rails back on, did 6, relatively easy. So that middle set, it was literally just because an external piece of equipment wasn't there. That was it. It wasn't. I can't lift it, or my body can't lift it. It's that.
Oh no, it was
shit. It's not there.
100% mentality.
And
It was a what if? What if I went down for the 5th and I couldn't get back up again? Them safety bars weren't there to catch a bar, and I'd look a dick. Even though the first 4 had gone up, absolute piece of piss. The first 6 on the first set went up easy. As soon as I realised they weren't there, it was just mentality.
Yeah, but it is the same thing of like going to the gym with like this used to be me like going to the gym without a pre-workout. I'd think if I didn't have a pre-workout before gym,
yeah,
it's a shit gym session. When I used to do squats without my belt, if I didn't have my belt, it would be I can't lift this heavy. Granted, I genuinely can't now because the weight's just gotten too heavy for my body weight that my abs aren't developed enough to do it. But back in the day, it was squatting 60 kilos. If I didn't have a belt with me, I was like, oh, I can't do that. And it's almost people making crutches and excuses and almost making these triggers that they need to follow in order to have a good session. It's like a morning routine. Like, what I used to do is write out my morning routine every night. Yep. And then in the morning, if one thing didn't go right or I missed one thing, it would fuck my whole day up. And that's just like, so I'd write like, wake up, have a shower, brush my teeth, do my hair. If I woke up too late and didn't have a shower, I'd be like, oh, well, there's no point like doing my hair. I'd brush my teeth because I'm not a skank.
I think that extends to a lot of people. Though. It's no different to I've said to you before with me and work. It's like I can actually I can go through work, be absolutely on point, macros absolutely fine, not have any cravings whatsoever. I can walk into my house, my kids are being a pain up the arse, they've aggravated the wife, the place isn't tidy, and it can be so simple revert back to how I used to be with comfort eating, where it's like my first thought is I've got pissed off, I've got angry, rather than kick, shout, scream, it's open the cupboard and see what's in there. And it's just that mentality of going, when that happens.
So you don't do that much anymore, do you?
No, I'm nowhere near as often.
So what do you do when you get in situations where you're stressed or you come home and everything's a shithole? What have you changed from fuck it, it's going to be a binge day to okay, now it's not a binge day, essentially.
Mentality and focus, man.
But like, any triggers?
No, that's the same. For me personally, if I walk, just as I walk into my house scenario, if I was to walk in and like my daughters or my son's not doing as their mum's telling them, and I can see that they're just being absolutely disobedient, and it winds me up. Or I've had instances where I've come home and they've touched my stuff, rather than triggering it off how it used to be. It's just up until I lost my headphones, whether it be right, focus, crack on with it, music on, drown everything else out for half an hour, why crack on? And by the time you finish with that, you've had a chance to recenter yourself, refocus and go, right, okay then, why do I want to fuck up my next 3 days because of I'm pissed off at this instant now? When it's like, it's actually but a half hour, 1 hour binge, it might make me feel better for a couple of hours this evening.
But it's
gonna spiral. You end up with your weight spikes. You automatically, or again, fucking still newbie for me, is I automatically feel I've got to chase rather than just reset and go, okay, well I fucked up last night, reset my macros and just carry on as normal. You end up in almost a little cycle of, if I went over yesterday, I'll try cut down today, and then you ultimately
diet.
Yeah, you end up 3 days later where you've effectively tried getting rid of the weight that you've gained, like water weight and that.
But now you're so hungry.
Yeah, fuck yeah. You're literally, and it's like your cravings are back where you were 3 days ago when you had your binge, and you're like, well, what was the fucking point? But no, it's just focusing. I'm a lot more focused now than I used to be. Damn fucking sure.
I think that's the point of it. Just getting your mentality straight and sort of pushing through them. It's the same thing when you're dieting. Like for the show that I just did when I was in America, which I do a podcast on.
You gotta wait for that.
Gotta wait for it. You can wait for this podcast when I get my fucking photos from this photographer that I hired. So, yeah. But it's the same thing like that. Like, because that's all mentality. Like the whole 4 months is just like I've fucked up the last like 3 weeks. My mentality was just shockingly bad. But it's almost the same. Like when you're craving something, it's do you give into it then or just power through it, wake up the next morning with a full set of macros and flexible diet and implement what you wanted into it. But everything comes down to mentality and how you perceive it. So, if you want it, you'll do it.
I'll say, for me, when it was, like I said, we got back from a car show and I was going through pictures to edit, and my wife had been walking around the car show with my camera and she'd got some really fucking awful pictures of me at some really awkward angles. And that was the day I realised, 19 stone 8 isn't the way forward. And again, no one was going to do it for me. It was an overnight cut out, absolutely fucking everything. Looking back now, I probably went too far with what I cut out, because I literally cut out every piece of unnatural shit I could. No fizzy drinks, no chocolate, no sweets. So like I say, if you want it bad enough, it's accountability. No one's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it. But like you're saying about obviously making your choices and your focus with your dieting, coming down to, when you had your show, last 2 weeks must have been fucking awful for it.
Yeah, man. But when it comes to accountability, there is stuff you can do to make it easier. One thing that I've started doing now is every night before training in the morning, I'll wake up an hour before we leave for the gym. So if we're training at 5, I'll wake up at 4. But I'll pack my bag the night before, like my gym bag. I'll have everything that I need in there. So I'll have like my belt, my pre-workout. I'll have my foam roller.
Yep.
I'll have my exercise ball that I can get the knots out my back with. I'll have my resistance bands. And again, not all of these are used. I haven't used the foam roller, but it's in my bag in case I need it. The ball I only ever use on back days and chest days. But it's handy to have in there. But it's proning yourself and creating those positive triggers for the next day.
Oh shit! It's just the whole mindset and mentality. Like I said to you before, it's one of them where 10 minutes of getting my uniform ready for work, just making sure my trousers are ironed and my work shirt is ironed and my gym stuff's ironed for the next day. It's only 10 minutes, but it's a difference between doing it when I can be bothered to do it and everything's there for me. I wake up in the morning, I know all I've got to do is basically brush my teeth, brush my hair, have a shower, get changed, then I come pick you up or we go to gym.
If you can make it as easy as possible for yourself, I would sacrifice...
It's 10 minutes the night before.
I would literally, not even that, I would sacrifice 5 minutes a night. Sometimes I don't do it. And like, the impact that it has now is ridiculous, because I wake up and then it's almost like fucking everything's just scattered around the house. I'm spending 15 minutes like finding everything and putting it in my bag.
That's what I was saying, literally. It's that 5 minutes for me. It's that 5-10 minutes a night before, make sure everything's ready, my bag's packed, and it is literally just a case of taking your food out of the fridge or your water out of the fridge. If I wake up at 3:30 and do it, what would have been 10 minutes the night before, I can be running 15-20 minutes late because I'm half asleep still. I can't be fucked. Can't get creases out of shit, or I'll leave something and I'll get out to my car, literally to the point where I've got everything hung on coat hangers by my back door, so I can literally just pick up my gym bag, grab my stuff out of the fridge, and I'll walk out 5-10 minutes the night before.
Yeah.
And that's it. But it's just such a positive mentality for the day. It's like there's nothing worse than shit going wrong before you've even left for the gym, because then you get to the gym, you're pissed off, and then it's, oh, fuck's sake, I've forgotten this, or I've left my pre-workout in the fridge. It's just a knock-on effect of crap after crap.
Yeah. The last thing I would ever want to do is be halfway to the gym, and I live like a 5-minute drive, is drive to the gym, be driving to the gym and think, shit, I've got to go back.
How many times have I rung you and gone, shit, I'm going to be late because I've literally left my work t-shirt hanging up, or I've forgotten my work trousers, or I've left my work boots at home.
Preparing yourself is going to be one massive thing to sort of help with that mentality sort of mindset. This is specifically for if like you're training in the morning, or you like just if you work early mornings and it's a struggle for you to get out of bed, and it comes down to that mentality again, is make it easier for yourself. Like I said, like stress yourself out during the night, sleep, wake up, and then you're refreshed. What you don't want to do is wake up, have to pack everything, get yourself worked up and stressed, because when we all get stressed, your mentality does slip. You either start off the day really shit, or you start off the day really well.
Yeah.
So spend that 5 minutes, plan, prepare yourself. If you've got a long day at work and you're trying to diet, meal prep, take it all to work with you. Pack your gym bag. Sort of organise. If you're going to school, organise everything in your bag. So all you have to do the next day is literally have a shower, get changed, pick up that bag and leave.
That's it, done.
Like, that's it. Like, for me, for example, what I could do in this place is, like, before I go to bed, put my bike up against the radiator or some shit. So if I need to ride to the gym in the morning, it's not dragging out my fucking dining room, bringing it through here, knocking on everything, trying to be quiet because my roommate's rooms are directly above, and it's just literally leaving. So everything is making it easier for you. And if that's one thing that's how my mentality, especially, is kind of just preparing the night before, so the day after, it's literally, I can wake up, if I have an extra 15, 20 minutes in bed and I don't fall back to sleep, which has happened, which is, again, is why it's a good fucking idea. The amount of times you've called me up and you've been like, I'm outside, you fall asleep, and I'm like, yeah. All I've got to do is wake up, get changed, brush my teeth, walk downstairs, my bag's there. Like, my bag's on the sofa, pick it up, undo the door, and I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't recommend doing it, because trying to train when you're fucking half asleep is hard. But,
especially when you're grouchy.
yeah, I'm not a morning person.
Not a fucking morning person at all, let alone when you've literally jumped out of bed and come straight down to the car, but...
Yeah, man. But it is just all about, like, accountability, realising that no one's going to do it for you. You need to do it. But it's just, there are a bunch of things that you can do, like these positive triggers. So one thing that I hate is to-do lists. I used to try and do them, and they used to make me feel worse.
Because you can physically see what you haven't had time to do.
Yeah, not even that. Like, I think Rob, we were talking about earlier, Rob Lipsett does to-do lists every day. But what he does is whatever he doesn't do that day, he rolls into the next day. And it continuously gives him something to do every day, and then by the end of the week, you've accomplished what you want. I can't do that. Like, I plan my week out, and that's it. That's my to-do list for the week. Make sure everything's done by that week. But, like, some people like to-do lists. For me, personally, if I write everything down and I don't do it, that hits my mentality, because I'm like, haven't done it, I feel really unproductive today. Which is weird, because if we wake up at 4 a.m, then we train, and then I do cardio, and then I come home, have a shower, and then I do some cleaning, by like 10 o'clock, I've already done a lot more than 90% of the people will do in a day.
Yeah, I see. For me,
but for me personally, because of this fucking to-do list, even if I've done all that in the morning, I've done all this stuff during the day, if I haven't took everything off, it hits me, and I'm like...
Yeah, so for me, obviously, I'm the other end of the spectrum on that. For me, obviously, because of work and that, first thing I do when I get in is a to-do list. I hate jobs list. It's just clearly a to-do list, because the way I see, from my mentality side of things, it's what I don't, like I say, as like Rob would say, what he doesn't finish today, he can take on to tomorrow. At least it's giving you a bunch of positive triggers during the day. You've got that positive where you know what you're going to do. But at the same time, if you don't get it done, at least it's there, so you can't forget it. So 2 or 3 days later, you think, shit, I should have done that on Monday. The good thing about it, with like, obviously to-do lists, is like you say, it's all there in black and white, what you need to physically do. And if it doesn't happen today, at least you can wake up tomorrow with them positive triggers where you're like, straight away, well, look, this is what I need to do today. There's no hour, 2 hour, 3 hour of, I've got nothing to do today, and then remembering the shit that you should have done yesterday, and then chasing your ass for the rest of the day, which again, potentially putting a negative spin on your day, or a not so positive thing, which again, by the end of it, when you get home and you want to sit down and relax, for me, I've still got this rolling around my head with the shit I should have done at work.
So I think that's where our mentality changes, because you like it, because you can roll it over. So like Rob likes it, I can't do it. Like, genuinely, if I haven't done a to-do list, if I haven't ticked everything off, then there's no rolling over to tomorrow. It's that day was a waste. I could have ticked off 90% of this list, but if I didn't make the fucking bed, I'd be like, what was the point? And that's why I like planning weeks out. So that's by the end of the week, I have done everything. And it's like, for me, it's more... And even if, like, there's a day where something goes wrong and I don't get everything done, rather than move everything over to the next day, I can kind of look at my calendar, rearrange it throughout the week, and it gives me that leeway of if there is a mistake, or if I do sleep in, or I'm lazy one day.
See, are you prioritising your list, though? When you're writing them, are you just shoving down a list of what you physically need to do, or are you writing in priority?
Man, everything's fucking colour-coded.
Yeah,
I use Google Calendars. Everything's colour-coded. Anything green is to do with...
That's too young for me. I can't.
No, everything green is to do with this... CM Fitness itself, anything related to like my YouTube channel. So that's always my second priority.
Okay.
Actually, no. My work is in pink. That's a priority. Pink's my favourite colour. That's why it's pink. Then like anything red is clay. And then anything red is I have to do regardless.
Okay.
Like there's no going like different ways. It has to get done. That's training. So, and then I'll write up every single day on the calendar as well. Anything green is stuff that I do for this, like my YouTube channel, podcast, researching, ebook stuff, that's all in green. So for me, I know I need to get that done. But
See,
it's
my,
not.
my to-do list is literally numbered, 1 through whatever. And at least at the end of the night, if I can sit there and go, well, do you know what? I'll start at the top and I'll work my way down. Even if it's I've got 8 out of 12 things done, at least I know that the 8 most important are done. I'm happy. The shit can roll on till tomorrow.
Yeah. So I don't do that. Mine's color coded. Color coded. But like, I think the next thing that we've got written down is surrounding yourself with positive people. Now I talked about this in a podcast I've done on my own ages ago, and it was talking about like toxic relationships and something else. It was like the worst podcast. I did it because I needed to get something out. It was just essentially it was just me like bitching about like fucking everything that's ever happened to me, or the majority of stuff. Essentially it was just me complaining.
Sounds like a good podcast.
Yeah, man, it was.
There's
it was
nothing
decent.
better than a rant.
Yeah, rant. But I think for me personally, it's so like where I used to live in dealing with everything there and how negative the environment was and just being surrounded by constant noise. Because I'm quite an introverted person. I like quiet. I like my own company. I like being social, but like 75% of the time, I'd much rather be on my own in my room, either working, watching videos, or doing some form of benefiting me in some way.
I'm a miserable fucker. I just like
being on your own. But like it's so hard, like because like, there is that saying, you become who you surround yourself with, the top 5 people you surround yourself with.
Definitely.
Now, like whenever I've spoken to people about this, when I used to be a PT, it was always people was like, yeah, but I don't have many friends, or people like yourself that are sort of in that like sort of 40 bracket of age.
34, you prick.
That are in that sort of like, you've got your family established, you don't see much of your friends. Like, how can someone who genuinely doesn't have time or can't make time, because obviously your friends are married, kids, it's fucking hard to me up. How can you surround yourself with positive people if you don't see that many people? And for me, this was the biggest issue, because my old place, I was surrounded by a bunch of unmotivational people. As nice as they were, it was just so draining to be surrounded by people that were happy working retail jobs and not going any further. For me personally, I don't want that. So it was hard to try and create that sort of positive friendship group when I didn't have a lot of friends to do that with.
Yeah.
And this is where like the power of the internet comes in handy, because now I religiously watch people like Christian, Max, like people like Philip DeFranco, and you probably don't know who he is. No. Either way, just like
Is he related to James Franco?
No.
No, I definitely don't know who he is.
Yeah, but like people online have now become that sort of, like, you don't need to fucking know people in real life, but it's adopting that mentality and their sort of positive traits.
Yeah.
So I think other than like you, my friend Bradley, and that's really all I can think of at the moment. There's not really anyone in person. Maybe my friend Will, but there's no one. I don't see enough of him though. So, but like, there's no one that I can really see in
Jurassic Park.
If you've watched the new Jurassic World movie, they don't even play the Jurassic Park theme in it, or I think they do when the Brachiosaurus shows up for it, like for 2 seconds. But either way, like, for me, it's like I don't have 2 people I can count that are a positive influence for me in person. The rest of my motivation and the rest of my positive attitude and mentality comes from watching these people online and adopting what they do, and not copying them, but how they view life, how they see everything, how they react to situations, and how they deal with it, and how like stress shouldn't affect your mentality. It should be something that you look forward to overcoming, along with adversity.
Same kind of thing though, isn't it? We've spoken about obviously cutting friends, cutting family out and shit like that, because obviously...
Oh mate, the amount of people I've fucking cut out, friends that I've known for like 9 years. You know, I was talking to my brother the other day, and he's done the exact same thing, but it's got to the point where it's relatively scary of how easy it is to cut people out. Genuinely, a whole group of friends that I went to school with, cut out.
I think
barely ever see him anymore.
It's too easy these days for people just to call each other friends. I mean, it's like
Yeah, massively.
As we said before, I'm more old school because I'm older than you, and it's just like for me, it's what is a friend, what a friend does, and it's just like to me, a friend should be there to help me through my lowest and fucking rejoice and help me when I'm at my best. When you're with friends and you're sat at a table and you got your phone in your hand, it's like
that's one thing I can't
stand.
stand.
There's a couple of motivational speakers who always said like when you sat at a table with people, especially if you're going out for a meal,
put your fucking phone in the middle.
Phone in the middle, phone in the basket, shit, phone in your bag. More so like me, I've got out my phone because I've got kids and shit. Yeah, but you shouldn't. Yeah. To me, if I'm with my friends, my phone shouldn't be out as such. I say that my phone is fucking out at the moment, but hey ho. But your phone shouldn't be out. It should be your want and your concentration should be there with your friends, not waiting for a better offer to come through, whether it's Instagram, somebody liking your shit, or Facebook, somebody sending you a message, or waiting for a game to reload itself.
That genuinely affects my mentality.
You should be there. And I've cut people out because
they were on their phone.
Yeah, man, it sounds so stupid, but like, I've gone out for meals with people and they're on their phone. You're like, well, fuck it. If you can't even be bothered to be with me in the here and now in the real world, why the fuck do I want to talk to you on Facebook? But it's like people, you have to respect other people's mentalities. So, I say up until 3 years ago, my idea of a good night in was playing Call of Duty and eating shit food. Whereas to me, I'd rather spend an evening in the gym and then go out for a movie or something, shower in between, may I add, then sit in and eat it. But then you've got to respect people who still do like that shit. But for me personally, because of it almost conflicts with what I want to do now. I don't want to sit in drinking. I don't want to go out drinking. That's not me. I don't mind going out for the odd meal. But when I look at, and I use the expression friends in the most loosest sense, when you've got these groups of friends you've met through work or even friends from school, and all you ever see is Instagram posts about them being drunk or they're eating this shit food or that shit food or they've gone here, there, and it's just like, for me, there's nothing positive that would influence or affect my life. So when I get invited, it's like, with the greatest respect, I don't want to go because it's not going to benefit me. I don't find it as enjoyable as them. I'm not going to knock them for what they find enjoyable.
Do you not find that you're almost restricting your life because of the gym though? Because you don't want to eat junk food, you're then cutting friends out.
I don't think it's because of that. I think it's just that a lot of it's down to people's mentalities where they don't seem to realise that because I have a goal in mind of, where I effectively want to be, you make sacrifice for it. But at the same time, if I was if I was coming from a skinnier aspect trying to build muscle, then I wouldn't have, it's not like a food phobia or a bad food association. But still, even 3 years later, I don't want to slip back into that where my life revolved around eating, drinking and being a fucking child when I'm an adult as such. I don't need to drink to have fun, and so I don't find sitting in McDonald's stuffing my face with crap food or having pizza nights. I can socialise with these people without feeling the need to sit there and stuff my face full of Dominoes and beer. I'd rather have a fucking Monster Zero and a decent bit of chicken and rice. You can still do it, but their mentality is you're not participating because you're not getting drunk. You're not participating because you're not eating shit food with them, and it does, with certain groups of friends, put a downer on it as such.
Yeah.
But again, it's their mentality. They're same age as me, and they're not. They're not consumed with drive to better themselves. See,
that's what pushes me away.
And it's not. They're not. They're like they're still in that going out drinking clubbing stage. And like, well, you're 34 years old. Me, I'm making my home. I've got a wife of 9 years now. I've got 4 kids. I'm manager of a shop, and it's just like for me, I've progressed my life to a point where I'm happy and still want to progress, but I can slow my progression of my life down and concentrate more on where me as an individual, me as my own body, I've got the time now where I can say, well, okay, because I get up first thing in the morning, I can put X amount of hours into it and still maintain a work life and still maintain a family life and still maintain a social. Yeah.
Because I think that's one thing that I get. Going back to the early morning sessions, that's one thing that, especially my roommate put it in a group in our group chat the other day, and it was a picture of someone went to the hospital. It was a meme about someone going to the hospital for overexhaustion, and then my friend was like, this is, and then tagged me in it, and I was like, it was nothing insulting, but it made me think that his view on what I do is overexhaustion. But I, in a sense, I understand. I wake up at 4, train, go to work, and then I come home at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon after working a 7-hour shift or a 9-hour shift. Sorry. And then I'm either working on business or I'm working on something else. I don't really, maybe once a week I go out and socialise, or once or twice a week, just because of work schedules, not because I don't want to. A lot of my friends work 9 to 5 jobs Monday to Friday, and I don't get weekends off, only every other weekend. But it's like, it's almost a sense of, like, it was all about what are you willing to do. I only need 5 hours of sleep, 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night. That's what I can function on. People are like, oh, but you need like 8 hours. I'm like,
I feel shit
no,
if I have 8
fucking
hours.
sleep faster,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
utilise your time more.
You,
For me,
you physically can't make your day longer.
Yeah.
And I've got so much I want to get done in a day. If I can't make my day longer, something's got to be sacrificed.
And
I
it
don't
is
want
like-
to sacrifice what I need to do.
yeah. And if you can survive on less sleep, like me and you, do it. Like, I can go from like the amount of times we've gone to the gym and I've fell asleep at like 1 o'clock and woken up 3 hours later, gone to the gym, and then I've literally went from the gym to do a 14-hour shift.
Got off a plane from America and went straight, literally came out
Yeah.
straight to the gym.
The first thing I did when I came
Dedication.
back from America is went up to my parents' house, picked up some fucking biscuits, said hello to everyone, and then I came down and trained. And yeah, you do need rest, but that's no excuse to take a whole day off. Like, for me and you, for example, we can go to gym in the morning, we can go to work, we can do other bits, and then have like 5 hours in the evening, which, to be fair, people think, and this is where my mentality and other people's mentalities are different, because to me, if you're spending 5 hours an evening not chasing your goals or not focusing on yourself, and you're doing that to socialise every evening, that's 35
Adds
hours
up.
a week. That's nearly a full-time job that you're wasting on stuff that's not going to benefit you. Like, sitting down here watching the TV with my roommates, we've done it a few times, but there was no need for it. We didn't talk to each other, we just watched TV.
Yes.
Fucking, like, I am all one for socialising, don't get me wrong. Like, but spending, like, 5 hours an evening, even 4 hours an evening on that distraction, it's just too much to me. And a lot of people think that's not enough. 4 hours is fine. I'm like, but it's not. I'm like, I like 2 days a week, I'd be more than happy socialising, because for me, going to the gym is socialising, because I train with you. I train with my other friend Dave that I'm training with tonight. For me, that's socialising.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with friends, we're having a good time. Then it's like when we went for breakfast at all you can eat place, that was in the morning. So I'll spend like maybe 9 hours a week with friends, other than like nights out and stuff like that, which I do go on.
Obviously, touching on that is the thing that pisses me off is you've got them, and I'm going to use the expression friends again, but the people in your life who they've always got time to go out clubbing, they've always got time to go out drinking, and then they moan about obviously whether they're putting on weight or they're moaning about that they want to get in shape, but they don't have the time.
It's not just that. It's,
but then
I want to do this. I want to achieve my goals. Haven't got time.
There you go. Whether it be progress a business, but they don't have time. Yet they're caught up on every single Netflix series, and you're like,
yeah, it's that meme of it round.
You've ploughed so much time into sitting in front of a telly.
I haven't even watched the first episode of Luke Cage season 2 yet.
Oh, exactly. Again, one of my friends is pretty much as far into that as he can physically get. Yet there's no time for what he wants to do. And it's just like, well, fuck it. I mean, more so if it's anything gym related, fucking take your phone with you.
Yeah.
Load it up on your phone.
Do it while doing cardio.
Get your workout done, and then sit and watch an episode of Luke Cage while you're doing cardio.
Yeah.
It's how I've ploughed through 100. Mate. Every cardio session is basically based around an episode of 100, or Ash versus Evil Dead. Absolutely amazing series. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Fucking find something that interests you and try to kill two birds with one stone. At least you can progress yourself, or an activity you want to do further, and still maintain that level of your own time.
Yeah.
For yourself, it can be done.
So
it's just finding a way to do it.
Yeah, because if I want to watch like Netflix or YouTube videos, for example, because I don't really watch much TV, it's a lot of YouTube. But like, I'll chuck a YouTube video on while I'm doing outlines for podcasts, where I'm trying to do my ebook and stuff like that. So I'm listening to it, killing two birds with one stone. But like, back to the whole socialising and working. I love socialising, but you've got to realise there is a time and place for it. Like, you can't expect to get far in life if you're spending 5 hours of an evening with your mates. You can't expect to save a lot of money if you're spending 70 quid every weekend. Fucking, we talked about this earlier. I'm going to it was going to be Germany, then it was going to be Dublin, now it's Barcelona. In November, the return flight is 60 quid. That's a night out here. What would you rather do? Go on a night out in fucking Portsmouth Guildhall, where I've been for the last 5 years, or go to a different country? That pays for my plane ticket. 2 weekends, like, so people that go out every weekend and spend like roughly about 50 quid. 3 weekends, so less than a month, right? If them spending and going out is what we're going to pay in January to go skydiving.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's no different there's somebody fucking, because they can't bother making themselves lunch in the morning, who goes and buys stupidly. So
meat. This is meat.
But let's just say a Tesco meal deal was 3 quid.
It was meat.
So it's 15 quid a week. It's £60 a month. You think realistically, 3 months out, there's your trip to Barcelona where you're spending money.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. That's each week on shit food and shit drink is a gym membership if you wanted to get in shape.
Yeah.
It's crazy. 1 month worth of shit food's 4 months worth of membership round here.
God, this point was about surrounding yourself with positive people.
But no, but see, it is positive.
Somehow that's...
It's positive mentality
Yeah.
and positive attitude and positive people. But there's so many people end up with groups of like-minded people that unless someone with, I'm not saying the right mentality, because at the end of the day, if the people are happy in their group doing what they want, as long as they're happy with it, and fair enough. But to sit and moan and then surround yourself with people who all sit and moan about the same shit and don't do anything about it.
I think that's why like a lot of my friends think I'm very closed off or introverted, because I don't spend a lot of time with them, because all whenever I do, it's always some form of complaining, or it's just like you said, on your phone. Like, again, I'm not saying people aren't allowed to do that. If you want to go to a meal and be on your phone, fucking who am I to say you can't do that? But I'm not going to be there, because that's not what I want to be surrounded by. I'm not saying I'm going to dislike someone because they're on their phone, but it's almost that you're there. You'll start
backing off away from them bit by bit, because you don't want to put yourself in that unawkward situation.
Yeah, and that's what I've done. Like, I've cut out a group of friends. I say cut out. I don't see them much. But I've distanced myself to an extent where their mentality isn't affecting me.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I do it with a lot of people. That's why a lot of people say, like, I'm either just really, I don't do a lot, I don't socialise enough. Well, I'm like, well, do, just with the right people.
Yeah.
I'm not hanging out with you a lot. It's for a reason. It's not because I'm pissed off at you or you've annoyed me. It's because your mentality and my mentality don't mesh. You're not going to benefit me in any way, and I'll
just hit that place in your life where you can still be friends, but just you don't gel well together.
No, yeah,
you still have your same common interest, because obviously to become friends in the first place, you must have some degree of a common interest. It's just a singular common interest, or maybe a couple, can't necessitate spending every waking moment living out of each other's pockets, because you're just going to end up fucking resenting each other. If you're being unsociable, but you're having to adapt yourself to your friends you want to go out drinking, they don't adapt themselves by coming and doing something you want. The way I see it as a lot of give and take. If I don't want to go out drinking, but I'm going out drinking constantly with the same group of friends, so I get to see them, there's got to be some kind of leeway where they go, well, actually, do you know what? We won't go out this weekend. What do you want to do? Let's go out that way. But unfortunately, it's just not how it works. You end up adapting yourself to the majority, which to me is not a friendship. So why fucking surround yourself with something that's going to make you feel shit?
Exactly. And honestly, it's although it was a bit weird to get used to at first and boring. Remember, in the first place that I moved out, I remember sitting on the sofa, all my friends were out doing something, and I was sitting there bored, depressed, and I was like, well, I'll ask what they're doing. Went and hung out with them and fucking regretted it soon after. But like now it's, like I said, I like my own company. There's nothing better than me just grinding for the whole entire day. Then by the end of the week, everyone's like, "Oh, you've not been here for a week. What's up?" And I'm like, "Fucking, here's what I've been doing for the last week." But it is like, if you haven't got that support group around you, like the majority of my family they're not unsupportive, but they're not supportive. They don't know what I want to do. They don't know, or like when I used to, I think my dad still takes the piss out of me tracking calories and stuff like that, just because he's very old-fashioned. He doesn't get it, and he never will.
Pretty much everyone in mind, you're not going to eat it because you can't scan it.
And I'm like, fucking, it's like people that are like, oh, why aren't you, when I was dieting, I used to go out on nights out and have Diet Coke. Oh, have a beer. Motherfucker, I don't need to drink for you to have a good time. Yeah. I'm happy having my Diet Coke. I'm gonna be a fucking laugh. You need to sort yourself out and start worrying about what other people are doing. But like if you haven't got that support group, it's not an issue. Just find them online. Like maybe there's your favorite YouTuber. Go in the comment section, comment, make friends with people there, or just create your. That's one thing that I'm trying to do is create my circle.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I have maybe 2 people. It's not a lot, but that's mate. That motherfucker. I think that's why Christian Guzman himself, the Guzman, got big himself because he managed to create this tight knit, positive group, like-minded people that wanted more.
The thing is, we put ourselves in a situation, i.e. the gym, every single fucking morning where you're full, regardless of whether it be 2 people or 10 people in there, you're surrounded by people of like-minded attitude. Just people in the gym are fucking arseholes, I swear, because we should all be collaborating together, chatting, but it's not. You walk into this, I don't know whether it's just a Portsmouth thing, there's very few people in ours that you'd actually talk to. But you're like, we're sitting here saying about obviously not being surrounded with like-minded people, but we put ourselves in the Iron Temple every single morning, but nobody tries to interact with anybody else.
You get the occasional, right?
Yeah, no, but I'm saying the occasional. We're there. You think we're there 2 hours a day, pretty much every day. I spend more time probably in a gym than I actually do getting to socialise with friends, if you will. But it's a weird one that.
Maybe that's just one thing we have to improve on then.
Yeah, man.
Ourselves.
We've got the opportunity to meet like-minded people to form a support network, if you will.
But it's always that like weird interaction, isn't it? Like you need a reason to start talking to someone. Like I'm not going to go into the gym and randomly walk up to someone. Like, if you want to meet people at the gym, which is a good way of meeting like-minded people, and this isn't like creating your friendship group or creating these positive people. It doesn't have to be gym related. Maybe you're at work and a lot of the people you work with are absolute pricks. Well, okay, fair enough. That's fucking hard. You're going to have to deal with that because you can't get new people in at work. But you can still surround yourself with good people. But, like, in the gym, I'd find it weird if someone randomly walks up to me and went, all right, mate. But it's like if someone asked you to use that kit, or, like, when we go over to, fucking, what have we done before?
Squat rack. Obviously, where we got squat rack and a power.
Yeah, we've got into conversations with guys about fucking like using the squat rack or just creating that. Like if you get a chance where an interaction happens,
or
take it.
Yeah, if an interaction available, fucking roll with it.
Yeah,
we had the little old lady, didn't we? The old woman in a wheelchair.
We've spoke to her. She comes in early mornings.
She's there grinding.
Mate, she does more than the majority of my old friends. Like it's fucking hilarious.
In her late 60s, in a wheelchair, and she's there trying to do fucking press ups and shit, grinding at the age of 60 on a hamstring machine.
Yeah, but if you do go to the gym, go in. Like, don't look fucking miserable. If you're going in, just smile at people. Yeah. If you walk someone, go, all right, mate. Or
make that little effort to engage.
Eventually it will happen. Do some fitness classes if you want to meet people. Like, because everyone's showing up to that class. Like, obviously everyone goes to the gym for the same reason, but some people are fucking lazy when they're there. Go to a fitness class. Everyone's going to be trying their hardest, regardless of what the effort level's like. So, especially when in my old gym when I was a PT, that was the best place to not only meet clients, get potential clients, but, like, some friendships were formed there because you go to you're the same people every week. You see the familiar faces.
Starts with a nod.
Yeah,
and then it's an alright.
And exactly, it's like just go into the gym, say hello to people, smile at people. Don't look so unapproachable. Look like you want to be there and you're happy to be there.
That's the word I was looking for. Look approachable.
Yeah.
Don't look like a miserable cunt.
Yeah, man.
Don't look aggressive over everything. Fucking look happy, and you might find maybe that's. Do we look like cunts?
I'm not allowed to swear on here.
Fuck's sake. Maybe that's why we don't have friends.
Yeah, maybe that. But like again, this whole thing has been about mentality, and it does all come down to accountability. Do you want it enough? And if you do, you'll deal with everything as it comes. Okay, adversity. You'll create your positive triggers. You'll learn, and again, it's all gonna be trial and error as well. Like most of this shit. I've been doing this for 5 years.
Techniques that work for you, I suppose, man. Find your technique that works.
Yeah, man. Find what works for you. Like, genuinely. Like, I'm happy socialising once or twice a week, maybe. Some people may want it more, but just...
Once a month, if I'm lucky.
Yeah, but just be aware that, obviously, if you want success, if you want to be bigger, if you want all of this stuff, you want to earn more money, you're not going to do that by spending money every weekend.
No.
You're not going to go far if you're spending 5 hours a day socializing rather than 5 hours a day working, and then spending maybe 10 hours on a weekend, just taking one day off a week.
Sacrifice now, mate, and enjoy it later.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm 22. A lot of people my age, 22 is about that age where people do like to out drinking every single weekend. But for me personally, maybe I'm weird, but I'm at that age now where I'm 22. I want to get shit sorted. I'm young enough. I don't have kids. I don't have a family. I have no responsibility other than paying rent, paying bills.
22, I had my first kid.
Yeah, well, fucking what excuse do I have? So for me, it's almost a sense of I have to.
Yeah, man.
Like,
do it now so you can relax later on. I mean, I'm 34 and I'm still getting my shit together now because I had kids early. And it's
yeah,
like,
man. Guzman sacrificed at the age of 22, and that motherfucker's gone to like Bali like 5 times. Yeah, man. But yeah, so that's gonna sort of be where we end this week's podcast about mentality and mindset. Hope you guys have learned something, or got an insight to what our mentality and mindset is like, and maybe we've given you some tips, or you've kind of managed to get something out of this that can help you guys. Like, one of the hardest things in life is mindset itself, because it can change every day, it can fluctuate, and it's one of the hardest things to get over because there's no medicine for it, there's no exercise that you can do to help improve mentality. It's all down to you, and it really shows your character. If you are a winner and you want it, you'll do it. So take whatever we've given you in this, implement it into your life, and make those positive changes. And just remember, it doesn't all have to be at once. Like, it can be
little steps.
Yeah, it can be prepping your bag for the gym once a week, every Monday, or on your leg days, or your biggest days where you need the most equipment.
Can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket, as
You
Arnie
can
said.
do it with one hand, it would just be a little bit slower.
Yeah, man. Do it one foot as well, but you'll be hopping.
Yep. But anyway, guys, that's where we're going to end this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you want to watch this rather than listen to it, it's going to be on my YouTube channel if you're watching this on Saturday. On the Monday coming up at 6 p.m. I've also started a series on my YouTube channel, so go check that out. That's pretty much going to be where we end it.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Leave me a review as well. Yeah, leave me a review on this SoundCloud. Do it. Do it for Carl's neck.
It's too long. Crowdfund page is coming.